Hi, Scone Mason here with my latest vlog. I've singled out the Catholics in this one. I still oppose all religion, of course, but the Catholics have set an example that I thought needed to be addressed and might make everyone think. I hope you enjoy. What does it take? I have friends and family who are Catholics, so I know that Catholic believers in general are not all bad people. Like all religionists, they are self-delusional. In this case, they create a church in their minds that does not always coincide with the one existing in reality. And this has created a situation that no Catholic wants to admit to, but that has become obvious to the rest of us, and despite the many scandals exposing the problem, has not been properly addressed by the Catholic Church. The problem, of course, is that the Catholic clergy has become a bastion for pedophiles. Priest sexual abuse has been rampant in many countries, and each time a priest is exposed as a child sexual predator, all the Catholics seem to shake their heads and say, well, at least we caught the bastard, now that's over with. But it's not over with, and never will be, until the Catholic Church recognizes openly that their secretive hierarchy and policies of protecting the Church at all costs have allowed their clergy to become infiltrated by sexual predators who operate under cover of the collar. I think we all agree that even one child sexual predator is one too many. A recent Irish government report on investigations into sexual abuse of children by Catholic clergy uncovered child abuse by priests lasting from 1975 to 2004. 29 years of child sexual abuse by priests. 2 Catholic bishops who are responsible for overseeing the Dublin diocese have resigned recently in shame over the discovery, and it is the words of one of these men that should be resounding throughout the world as the reason to make the Catholic Church culpable for their denial and cover-up of the situation. After resigning, Bishop Jim Moriarty said in a written statement that he, quote, should have challenged the prevailing culture of protecting the Church rather than children. A bishop, 48 years a Catholic priest, admitting that the Church put its image and desire to hide scandal above the safety of the children entrusted to it by its parishioners. What I can't really understand is why any Catholic parishioner would continue membership and donations to such a church after such a statement by such a high-ranking church official. He admitted that your child being protected from getting fucked by a priest was a lower priority than the church's perceived public image. This begs a question. What would it take? And of course, God did nothing to stop any of it. Jesus stood by while untold thousands of children were sodomized, fondled, and forced to give fellatio, while the Church hid the complaints, concealed the facts, moved the offenders to unplowed fields, if you will, and saved its image. My question to anyone, Catholic or not, is this. What does it take for you to start questioning these arrogant, self-absorbed, self-deluded, and sanctimonious child fuckers? What on earth would it take for you to just say to yourself, maybe this church and its clergy don't know everything they say they do? What does it take? You've got a 48-year bishop resigning in shame with his admission that he knew children were in danger by sexual predators, and he did nothing to stop it because he didn't want the church to look bad. And that this was the prevailing culture of the church. Think about that for a moment. The prevailing culture was not anti-child fucking. It was church image protection at the expense of children getting fucked by clergy. In my own city of Los Angeles a few years ago, Cardinal Roger Mahony settled a sexual abuse case, a class action lawsuit against the diocese with 2,000 plaintiffs. The settlement was for $600 million. He did this because by settling, he would not have to open the church's files on troublesome priests and abuse reports to the public. Obviously, the same culture prevailed in this case. Almost $1 billion to keep the names and events hidden. Frankly, I can't understand why anyone with this knowledge would trust a fucking clergyman ever. But even if you want to pick and choose, and cherry pick, and go into great lengths of apologetics for Christianity, and your pastor or your priest who would never behave in this way, even then, even at your most blindly faithful, doesn't this guy's statement and resignation after 48 years give you even the slightest pause? Does it not give you even a moment's doubt? Does it not even ignite the slightest spark that maybe, just maybe, you should begin looking into religion and researching its claims? Isn't there even a modicum of a thought of the possibility that it's all been contrived by men who enjoy power, respect from believers, and free money by the bucket load, tax-free, and all they need to do for it is keep everyone believing in the prevailing culture? If you're religious and you're wondering why some atheists act like they think they are smarter than you are, this is the kind of thing that leads to that. The Catholic Church is the oldest church in Christendom, having preserved the religion of Jesus as a savior throughout the Dark Ages. At one time, popes had more political power than kings. And in our current age, a priest who is caught molesting a child is not turned over to the authorities by the church, but concealed to save face for the church. I decided a long time ago I would never try to flatly convince anyone not to believe in their God. But what I would like to see is people educate themselves on their own and discover doubt for themselves. I'd like to encourage all religionists to take a close look at what churches are able to do under the disguise of being a place of good. It is the people who are good, not the churches. It is the people who help those less fortunate, not because they're religious, but because they're good people. If everyone questioned accepted religious dogma, we might take a step forward as humans toward a world with much more tolerance of our fellow man and much less child fucking by priests. Well, that's the latest one. Thank you. Please don't forget to rate the video. And if you like what you see, subscribe. And if you're my friend or my subscriber, I thank you very much. See you next time.